What's good, Buffs Nation? We're coming to you all with some breaking news that you do not want to miss. Colorado has upgraded that running back room by adding a key piece actually out of the SEC. A young running back that's going to potentially do some big time damage for the Buffaloes. So you know Coach Prime is excited, so you should be excited too. Before we get started, trust me, there is something that Colorado fans, you're going to want to hear, right? Because once you do, you'll definitely understand why Coach Prime went this direction in comparison to another that we were going. In fact, knowing this will be critical to being a Colorado fan this season. So we'll talk about that in just a few moments. But first, let me introduce to you the latest pickup, Isaiah Augusta. We'll watch a little film and we'll go through some of his measurables and why Colorado just won in a big way. Let's take a look at him. So the commitment is in. Augusta comes to all of us at 6'2", 208 pounds out of Naples, Florida. He came from SEC, Arkansas. He was a freshman there last season. He'll have 3 years of eligibility for the Buffs, which is going to be pretty big going forward as this builds that depth that Coach Prime needs to have directly out of the portal. Really does address something major, right? And him being from Naples, Florida is not too far from Coach Prime's stomping grounds, right? Remember that, because that's something key for us to talk about a little bit later. Now, Augusta last season ran for about 202 yards as a freshman for Arkansas, and he had his breakout game late in the season. It was like week 11, went up against Florida International. He rushed 14 times for 101 yards, and he became the SEC Freshman of the Week. That tells you a lot. You got a freshman doing that. And so the following week, he got his first start there at Arkansas, his first start at the collegiate level. He rushed for 15 carries for 80 yards against Missouri, in which we knew Missouri had a very stout defense last season. 15 carries, 80 yards, and a touchdown. He was balling in that game. And so a freshman getting the start at Arkansas, he was a part of the 2023 class, so a true freshman. He got some run. That's some impressive feat if you really think about it because, yeah, having the ability to come out and play as a true freshman in the SEC and even be able to win the award of SEC Freshman of the Week, that's pretty huge. And so that gives Colorado, as we all know, Rashad Amos decided to flip his commitment from Colorado to Ole Miss. So bringing in Isaiah gives this team more depth, adding him with Michael Welch, who is the freshman coming in that's enrolled early. And you've also got Dalen Hayden, who came from Ohio State. So you're going to have a bunch of depth and players that have played in some very tough conferences from the Big Ten and the SEC. And you still got Charlie Offerdahl, who just got his scholarship. The room is starting to build itself up. And there's a few others. You got Brandon Hood, who comes in as a walk-on. He actually was going to walk on at Georgia, right? His brother played at Auburn, transferred in, and Brandon Hood was going to walk on at Georgia. Now he's at Colorado. So you've got backs that are built to play at bigger conferences, at really big conferences. And there's a good chance that Colorado's going to make some noise. Now, the big thing, too, here is that he has 3 years left of eligibility, right? Those 3 years are going to be huge for what Colorado's going to want to do with him because you bring in a player like him who's played SEC ball. Now he has additional eligibility. They're going to run him down. Now, 6'2", 208 pounds is a nice size running back. I had some folks that had jumped in the comments on one of my videos when Dylan Edwards left. Felt like that was a pretty big loss, but at the same time, people recognize he's a small guy. And Kansas State does very well with that type of running back. Colorado wanting to take over the Big 12 now they moved over there. These big backs are going to help a lot. And watching the film on Isaiah, he has not only power, but the speed to keep going, right? He's going to run right through the defender. He's gone, right? That's what we're seeing out of him, his game and his capabilities. Your boy's excited. I'm excited for what is to come for the Buffs and what Coach Prime is, of course, building. So we've talked about that ad nauseum here. Now, Buffs fans, we teased this before and talked about something that you all need to know and what you need to hear as a Colorado fan in recognizing what Coach Prime is doing. This should be no surprise that you got a player out of Naples, Florida, which isn't very far from Fort Myers, which Prime is from. And why he would end up on that radar, along with, got other players out of Georgia, like Redden Hood. This staff is looking not only to build with the local talent they can get, they want that national appeal. We've talked about this in numerous videos. Something to always keep in mind. If you hear about a player coming into Colorado from a Florida, from a Georgia, even some Mississippis, Coach Prime and this staff is looking to go with the nationwide footprint and build themselves like these SEC programs. Colorado can come in here and run the Big 12. I mean, kind of like Oklahoma used to do back when they was in the conference. Of course, all of you will be excited because, Colorado won a national championship while in the Big 12. Well, the Big 8 at the time. So, the beginning of the Big 12, I guess you could say. So, Big 8. Colorado was doing some things in the Big 8. And so now they're going to be trying to take over the Big 12 as they were trying to back in the day. There's a good opportunity now with Coach Prime, the resources, the selling out of season tickets, all of the people putting into Colorado. Huge thing for what Prime and staff wants to do. And so for you all, as fans, what y'all needed to know in this, let's recap this. Isaiah has come over here from Arkansas, 6'2", 208 pounds, out of Naples, Florida. Very close to Fort Myers, where Coach Prime is from, bringing in talent to make sure that Colorado is going to be competitive going into the Big 12. Hopefully dominate that bad boy, start running some playoff games, bringing y'all more and more excitement and hype, because everybody believes the hype. They all know the hype's there. There's some doubters out there. We'll talk about them doubters in another video. But I'll tell you this, Coach Prime keeps doing this. If he keeps recruiting at this level, even though he's doing a couple of refreshes, he's just trying to find the guys that need to be here, the ones that can stick around and actually play at the level needed to be successful. We've seen Prime be successful before. He can definitely do it again. So make sure y'all jump in the conversation and hop in the comments. We would love to hear from you all. We're excited about Isaiah joining Buffs Nation. He'll be joining some of the players here for the summer report. We know players are coming in town. There are reports that players are already in town for the summer so they can start, getting them workouts in and getting themselves prepared for next season. We'll break down rosters and stuff soon. We'll also talk about some of the rooms and some of the players that are standing out. So make sure you check out this video I have up here. This video talking about some cool stuff that Prime and them are doing there. You don't want to miss it. And we will talk soon.